Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Right now, America feels hotter than ever because millions of soccer fans from around the world are pouring in for the World Cup. The streets are packed with chants, flags are everywhere, and the whole country feels like one giant festival. But today, we're not talking about soccer. I want to talk about a different kind of American specialty, a culture shock that my European friends are running into right now, and honestly, it's really throwing them off. Close your eyes for a second and picture this. You're standing in line at a massive, crowded supermarket in suburban Ohio. Your cart is loaded with snacks, energy drinks, hot dogs, and everything you need for a long road trip. You wait so long your legs are starting to give up, and finally, it's your turn. You confidently swipe your credit card with one clean little beep. And then, the machine gives you an error. Your card gets declined. The reason is painfully annoying. Your bank back home saw you spending money overseas and automatically froze your card because it thought you were being hacked. Now you're standing there sweating, fumbling for your phone, trying to call customer service, while the line behind you keeps getting longer and longer, and the pressure is very real. Then suddenly, an older man in a plaid shirt, looking about as American as it gets, quietly steps forward behind you. He doesn't make a big speech. He just gives a small smile, taps his card on the POS machine, and beep! Done. He just paid your nearly $200 bill like it was nothing. Then he turns to you, pats you on the shoulder, and says, "Have a good trip, brother. Consider it a welcome gift to America." If you were born and raised in cities like Berlin, London, or Prague, where the culture is basically mind your own business, and staring at someone on the subway for more than 3 seconds can get you a death glare for invading their privacy, your brain would immediately start building a dozen different conspiracy theories. Is this guy trying to scam me? Are we being filmed for some hidden camera show? Oh no, is he going to follow me to the parking lot and demand the money back? Even if you come from a warm, peaceful small town, the idea of a total stranger with no family connection and no obvious reason suddenly spending hundreds of dollars to help you in public still feels almost impossible to process. But everyone, that's exactly the kind of thing happening in America right now. A lot of international visitors arrive here with their guard up, and then they get completely disarmed by something very strange: the no-strings-attached generosity of Americans. In many countries, money or help often comes with some kind of unspoken deal. You help someone because they're family, a friend, a business partner, or at least because you expect they might help you back someday. Everything is pretty clear and transactional. If someone in Paris suddenly paid for your coffee, you'd probably switch into high alert mode and start wondering what they wanted from you. But the American way of thinking is completely different. It's like their operating system forgot to install the "Be Careful with Strangers" software. They don't see helping someone as charity or as a way to show off money. For many Americans, making a total stranger smile in surprise is almost like giving themselves a little shot of happiness. It's like a lighthearted game where they're willing to spend a little money or time just to see that shocked look on your face. Last week, there was a really sweet story going viral in a few travel groups. A group of international students rented a car for a road trip, got lost, and ended up trying to figure out their map at a remote gas station in Arizona. Then an older couple pulled in with a huge RV, the kind that looks like a house on wheels. They saw the students looking confused, and instead of just pointing down the road and giving vague directions, they invited the whole group into the RV to cool off in the air conditioning. They made each student a cup of hot chocolate, pulled out a huge paper map, and used a marker to draw the safest and most scenic route for them. When it was time to leave, the wife even handed them a box of homemade cookies. Everything happened so naturally, without any awkwardness or pressure. To them, helping lost travelers seemed like a default part of being an American citizen. What shocks international visitors the most isn't always the money or the material help. It's how fast Americans break down the wall of personal space. Back home, for a lot of people, getting invited to someone's house can take a year of friendship, and sometimes you still need a formal invitation sent days in advance. it can feel very proper and very serious. Now imagine you're a tourist walking through a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood in suburban Chicago. You see a family having a backyard barbecue, music playing, kids running around, and ribs sizzling on the grill. Back home, you'd probably lower your head and walk past quickly so you don't bother anyone. But here, all it takes is one accidental moment of eye contact with a guy flipping ribs on the grill, and he'll call out to you right away. "Hey buddy, you look thirsty. Come grab a cold beer. Try my family's secret rib recipe. It's really good." Tourists often get thrown into a state of total confusion. A lot of my friends have described the strange feeling of standing in the backyard of a complete stranger, holding a plate piled with food, saying, thank you," over and over, while their brain is still trying to process what's going on. Wait, why did they let me into their house? Why is his wife telling me about their son's first year of college when we only learned each other's names 3 minutes ago? Inviting a stranger you just met at a ferry terminal over for dinner, or asking a group of tourists to join a campfire just because you seem fun, is not that unusual in America. This warmth isn't just random impulsiveness. It comes from America's old frontier culture. Back then, the land was huge, the conditions were rough, and people often survived by relying on neighbors who had once been strangers. That cultural habit sank deep into the American mindset, turning many of them into endlessly welcoming people. When it comes to service, the cultural difference becomes even clearer. In some European countries, restaurant servers can feel cold and distant, and people call it professional service, or respecting the customer's personal space. You eat, pay, and leave. That's it. But when you walk into a family-style diner in America, somewhere in Tennessee or Georgia, for example, you're not just a customer anymore. You instantly get upgraded to family. You'll hear servers call you by the sweetest words. Honey, sugar, sweetheart. It sounds so smooth and natural that you almost feel like you've come home to eat at your grandma's kitchen table. Let's say you awkwardly knock over a glass of iced tea. In many places, a staff member might bring over a towel with a long sigh that makes you feel embarrassed for the rest of the meal. But in an American diner, the waitress will rush over, eyes wide with concern. "Oh my God, honey, did it get on your shirt? Don't worry, you're fine. I'll take care of it." A few minutes later, the table is spotless, and boom, you get a free slice of hot apple pie, with steam coming off it, along with a comforting line, "Have some pie to calm down, sweetheart. That table's been a little wobbly anyway. It's not your fault." Some people will say, "Come on, it's all an act. They're just doing it for tips." And yes, tipping culture in America is a major part of a server's income. But think about it. If someone could act that warm, cheerful, caring, and sweet from early morning until late at night, every single day, just for a few extra dollars, then half of America would deserve an Oscar. The truth is, a lot of them genuinely like talking to people. They really do enjoy turning your bad day into a better one. That's part of their pride in the job. Sometimes they're willing to take something off your bill, give you a free keychain from the restaurant, or do one small extra thing just to hear you say, "Next time I'm back in this city, I'm definitely coming here again." This is where movies and news really mess with our heads. For years, we've watched news reports showing America as unstable, violent, and tense. So tourists arrive here feeling nervous, especially when they run into police officers or anyone in uniform. A lot of people assume they'll be cold, strict, and ready to pull out a weapon at any moment. But what's happening during this World Cup has been a reality check for those stereotypes. There was a family of Asian tourists who got lost in a national park in the snowy mountains of Montana. They were driving along when a state police patrol car flashed its lights and pulled over behind them. The whole family's heart started racing, and they thought they must have broken some traffic rule and were about to get hit with an expensive ticket. But no. A tall, broad-shouldered police officer stepped out of the car with a big friendly smile, tapped on the window and asked, "You folks wrestling with that map? Are you lost?" There was no ticket at all. The officer told them to follow his car. He used his patrol vehicle to guide them through a foggy mountain pass. Every now and then, he even tapped the siren with a funny little wee-woo sound to make the scared kids in the back seat laugh and relax. When they said goodbye, he even gave the children tiny plastic police badges as souvenirs. That's honestly adorable. Or in big cities, you might walk past a fire station and stop for a second, because the huge red fire trucks look so impressive. In some countries, a guard might immediately tell you to leave because it's an official area. But in America, firefighters washing the truck might wave you over. Hey, you want to come see the truck? They'll happily open the door, let you climb into the driver's seat, put their heavy helmet on your head, and take a bunch of photos for you. That level of openness and care isn't written in any job manual. It's simply because they're proud of what they do, and they want to share it with visitors from around the world. If there's one soft skill Americans have practiced to a master level, it's the ability to compliment strangers. For people who grew up in places where talking to strangers feels strange or even suspicious, walking down an American street can feel like free therapy. You suddenly feel a little better about life. You wear a bright jacket while walking around Seattle? Someone across the street will probably shout, "Bro, that jacket is awesome! I love it!" You order a drink at a coffee shop with an accent and slightly broken English. Instead of getting annoyed because you're ordering slowly, the person behind you might say, "Your accent sounds cool. Where are you from? Welcome to our city." They don't compliment you because they want you to compliment them back. Their compliments come out as naturally as breathing. That kind of positive energy makes unfamiliar streets feel surprisingly warm. Those casual little comments can actually have real power. They soften the shyness of new visitors, make you smile without planning to, and make you walk a little more confidently. And we have to talk about the American habit of holding doors. An American can stand there holding the door to a restaurant or supermarket for a full 15 seconds, looking at you and smiling while waiting for you to walk over from the parking lot. At first, that kind of politeness can feel a little stressful. You almost feel like you need to awkwardly speedwalk so they don't have to wait. But when you think about it more deeply, that small action carries a very nice message. I see you, and I'm willing to spend a few seconds of my life making your next step easier. Everyone, this World Cup isn't just giving us beautiful soccer matches. It's also giving millions of people a major shift in how they see America. When visitors from all over the world experience life for themselves in small towns and big cities across the US, they start to realize something important. We've let the media lead us by the nose and feed us fear for too long. The shocking headlines, the loud stories about violence, and the constant talk about division have covered up another side of America, a real society built on tolerance, neighborliness, and everyday kindness. America isn't perfect, because no country is perfect. But its biggest strength isn't in Wall Street skyscrapers or military power. Its real strength is in ordinary people, the diner waitress, the firefighter, the guy grilling meat in his backyard, or the man who lets you go ahead and pays for your groceries at the supermarket. Lately, if you scroll through YouTube or TikTok, you'll see a wave of videos from international visitors sharing the same message. Maybe the world owes Americans an apology. They're apologizing for arriving with their guard up. They're apologizing for once thinking Americans were arrogant. They're apologizing for doubting those warm, welcoming smiles. An older tourist from Northern Europe got teary-eyed in his vlog when he said goodbye to the new neighbors he had met in Texas after staying with them for just 1 week. They treated me like a long-lost family member. He said he realized that the closed-off, safe-distance people are so proud of back home can sometimes become a cold wall that keeps real understanding away. In the end, when we strip away language, skin color, and background, the one thing that connects human beings is kindness. An American waving you into their home, or helping you when you're stuck on the road, can teach you more about humanity than any textbook ever could. If you've read this far and you're about to step outside, go to work, or go to school, would you be willing to break down one of your own walls? Try giving a sincere compliment to the person standing next to you in the elevator, or hold the door for someone behind you for 3 extra seconds, and see what happens. America may be loud, huge, and sometimes messy, but it's still holding on to something very valuable, a real sense of warmth in everyday communication. Kindness isn't something you're supposed to save up and spend carefully. Give it freely, and eventually, it'll grow somewhere. Thank you for watching or reading today's story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you again in the next story. Peace!